What have you done? What have you done? How could you?
Will you let him die in vain?
Rhaenyra is weak and unsuited to rule.
You will have justice.
I will never have justice. But what crumbs of it may be snatched, I will devour.
We'll fight on our own terms. My purpose is to restore the rightful line to the Iron Throne.
Rhaenyra is no queen. A new dawn is coming, and she'll certainly fail.
Every one of my miseries is of his making, and I swear I'm going to find him and fucking kill him.
I am my father's heir.
This is the moment you become queen.
The patient hunter gets the kill.
The crown is a weight that crushes. Rhaenyra will do, in the end, what she has to do. And what she has to do will be dire.
Have you not betrayed your queen?
You can burn us. You can kill us. You will never make us embrace her.
I wear my father's crown. My enemies will not deny me my right.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This will be my House the Dragon Season 3, Episode 2 trailer video. There's a whole bunch of Easter eggs, references, and footage for other future episodes too, so we'll also try to add that too. This is mostly going to be for Episode 2, though. We started the season with a bang, and they are just getting started. It's going to get so much crazier over the next couple of episodes. Starting at the beginning of the trailer, I believe this is Caraxes and Daemon burning the ships here in the bay. Notice there's like wreckages of ships and there's a couple people on them. This is basically like the leavings of the Battle of the Gullet, like the aftermath of the Battle of the Gullet, as they're making their way to King's Landing with the dragons to take the Iron Throne. We get a montage of different scenes of Baela on Moondancer taking Jace's body back to Dragonstone so that Rhaenyra can see what has happened. Notice they land in the Dragonmont, where the dragons typically land and then take off from. That's where they roost, inside there, right next to Dragonstone. We've been there a couple of times before. As Rhaenyra asks them a couple times, what about Jace? What have you done? Like, what is going on? What has happened with Jace? And she realizes that he is dead and starts to spiral out in grief, just like after Lucerys died. Another one of her precious baby boys is dead, R.I.P. Baela looks crestfallen, like she feels as if she shares some of the blame for his death, but I don't think that's totally the case. Like, she wasn't totally at fault here. Jace was the one that pushed for this in the first place, and then also Sheepstealer caused a lot of the chaos and chased them around.
He lashes out to defend himself, to defend his rider.
Jace was forced to fly too low close to the crossbows to avoid Sheepstealer, which is why Vermax was hit by the crossbow and then he was hit by multiple crossbows. So if you want to blame anybody, blame Sheepstealer, even though the way the showrunners explain, like Ryan Condal, the writers explain Sheepstealer's actions, it is his whole life he'd been this wild dragon and he just bonded with Rhaena and got confused and got scared and was trying to protect Rhaena from all the chaos of the battle around him, so Sheepstealer couldn't distinguish between friend or foe. So it's Ryan Condal and the writers trying to make you feel a little bit sadder for what happened with Sheepstealer. Like, he didn't mean to cause all of those deaths. He wasn't flying around burning as many sheep as he could find. He was doing this because he was afraid for Rhaena and he didn't realize what was going on. Your socially inept, awkward dragon on his first day thrown into the pit, so to speak, thrown into the fire, so to speak. We get a really quick shot of Seasmoke and Adam of Hull looking for Corlys Velaryon and his brother Alan of Hull in the aftermath of the Gullet. We also see Corlys. He looks none the worse for wear. He's going to be fine. We get a really quick shot of Rhaena also back on Dragonstone after the battle, also looking like she's very sorry for what has happened. Like, oh, my dragon tried to eat all of you and it led to Jace's death. This is bad. It'll be really interesting to see how Rhaenyra treats her after this too, and what Daemon does after this too. He'll probably be proud that she was able to claim Sheepstealer, but also kind of sad that Jace is dead. Like, Daemon is sad for Rhaenyra, but you see, right after this, when she's in bed crying, like the night after she finds out that Jace has died, Daemon starts to try and gas her up to take King's Landing because he still wants things to continue, basically playing on her grief. Do you want to let them die in vain? Are the boys, the 2 boys that died of yours, going to die in vain? So I think they're trying to show you how Daemon has a lot of culpability in what she winds up doing over the rest of the season, what she winds up turning into. Because a lot of the footage later in this trailer from later episodes, she starts talking about how it is her God's given right to rule. It was ordained, it was prophesied. She starts to believe that she is the prince who was promised. We get a really quick voiceover from Aemond Hightower, who seems like he's gone to Tumbleton now. That's the town that they're in across all the footage in the different episodes for like the rest of the season, where he says, Rhaenyra is weak, not suited to rule. He basically wants to do everything to get rid of the blacks, and he's on sort of like this holy mission to help the Greens win. But he says he didn't really care who's on the Iron Throne as long as it's one of the Greens, one from their side. We get a really quick shot of their army massed with Tessarion and Daemon. It looks like this is from the Battle of Tumbleton, which is like the final big battle of the season. So like this will be episode 7, I believe. We also see what looks like him squaring off with a Daemon who has both Caraxes and Silverwing behind him. All the dragon seeds were also at the Battle of Tumbleton too, so like there were a bunch of dragons there. We get another voiceover from Daemon talking to Rhaenyra, I think probably from the similar or same conversation, where he says, you will find justice for what has happened to you and your family, your boys so far. And she says, I will never have justice.
But what crumbs of it may be snatched, I will devour.
I will devour. I love that talk. That's very dragon-like way of talking about justice. While they cut it with another scene of her inside the Red Keep after they've taken the Red Keep and the Iron Throne, burning all the Green's things, like all these green banners, Aegon's banners. It even seems like she's burning someone's bed in here too. You can let me know which bed you think she's burning. We also see the voiceover when she talks about snatching justice in her jaws is inside the small council room. So this is like definitely inside the Red Keep when they're talking around the table. Then they cut another scene of Aemond Hightower talking about fighting on their own terms while he's inside Tumbleton, with a scene of him riding through his men at the Battle of Tumbleton later when they're getting ready to actually start the fight. Then there's kind of a funny moment where you see Criston Cole and Gwaine Hightower and their men in the woods who were waiting for Aemond and Vhagar to show up and help them, fly overhead and completely pass them by as Aemond is going to Harrenhal. Sorry, Criston Cole, Sir Dirtbag, you're not getting that help. Things are only going to get worse for you for the rest of the season. We also get another funny scene of Aemond Hightower looking like he's sniffing glue again. He had that scene, like the first scene we saw of him in episode 1, where he seemed like he just sniffed glue the minute he stepped out of his tent. What is going on there? What is he sniffing? What is going on? We get a couple more shots of the Greens arriving at Tumbleton and getting ready to take the city or take over the city. Boljon Roxton pulls his Valyrian sword, Orphan Maker, and they prepare to basically just control the city for the rest of the season. Aemond Hightower says his purpose is to restore the rightful line to the Iron Throne. He's talking about the Hightower line, the Hightower Targaryens. He is also from House Hightower, so it makes sense that he would be biased. When he talks about the rightful line, we also see King Aemond, now like he's named himself king, even though Aegon is still alive and has not technically abdicated the throne, burning Harrenhal, which reminds you of Aegon's conquest when Aegon took Balerion the Black Dread and burned Harrenhal. Aemond has probably heard this story 1,000 times when he was growing up, so he's probably thinking about Aegon the Conqueror and Balerion burning Harrenhal when he shows up and starts burning it himself. But this time you see him with his Valyrian sword, his armor on, and he's got the Valyrian dagger on his hip too. Remember, he took the Valyrian dagger as well, so he just goes around the castle, it seems like, killing every strong that he can find. But it's just like when Daemon arrived during season 2, and there's almost nobody there, so like the castle itself is relatively empty, so this is kind of a futile gesture. Like, you can kill as many strongs as you want, press F to pay respects for all of them, but really it's not going to do anything, and the blacks don't care what he's doing. Like, Rhaenyra doesn't care what he's doing at Harrenhal. But Aemond sure feels like he is on a mission. He then says Rhaenyra is no queen, a new dawn is coming, as we see Alicent back at King's Landing watching the dragons fly to the dragon pit, and continues saying, and she'll certainly fail, as he's eating what looks like breakfast or a meal in that same central hall where Daemon spent most of his time with the Strongs while he was at Harrenhal during the days. So we have another version of a character being stuck at Harrenhal all season. There are a couple later scenes of him swinging Blackfire inside what seems like the same room where Daemon slept during season 2 as well, and that's a weirwood bed, so when he sleeps in it, he's probably going to have some super trippy weirwood visions. You can let me know what kind of crazy dreams you think that he's going to have while he's there. We get a really quick scene of Aegon and Larys Strong stabbing the people that were taking them to Rhaenyra and escaping.
Every one of my miseries is of his making, and I swear I'm going to find him and kill him.
He then seems like he declares he's going to get revenge on Aemond, blaming all of his misfortunes, recently at least, on Aemond, because Aemond did burn him, like he is the reason why he looks like this, why he's in so much pain. Then at night, he turns and looks really high up in the sky. I think this might be a Sunfire reveal, that Sunfire is still alive, and they might make it to Rook's Rest, where Sunfire has been recuperating maybe since Season 2. Everybody post all your Sunfire theories in the comments. Right now he's pretty dejected, but him seeing Sunfire alive would definitely gas him up to take back the Iron Throne from Rhaenyra. Like he would start to feel like he actually had a chance, like a real chance again. We get a really quick shot of Rhaenyra and the Dragon Seeds and Daemon taking their dragons to take the Iron Throne in King's Landing. So pretty much everybody except for Sheepstealer, like everybody hop on your dragons, get in losers, we're taking the Iron Throne. Wait a minute, just a second, not you Sheepstealer, you stay. You're way too crazy, you're a liability. We get a really quick scene of Rhaenyra inside the Red Keep saying she is her father's heir, while Daemon proceeds to just slash every green guard on their way to the throne room. So this is basically like right after they actually make it inside the literal Red Keep. Like they've arrived at King's Landing, now they're inside the Red Keep and just fighting their way through the greens to the throne room. Also probably looking for Aegon and can't find him because he's not there. We get that really quick shot of Daemon gassing her up even more, saying this is the moment you become queen, with the way they pan up on the Iron Throne, the thing that Rhaenyra has been trying to claim for the last couple of seasons. Also seems like they're going to mow their way through all these green guards here too. When Ormond Hightower says the patient hunter gets the kill, notice that they cut the scene of Criston Cole looking all dirty, worse for wear, like he is on his last legs. There are a couple battle scenes with him. I think they're all from around Butcher's Ball or close to Butcher's Ball. Ormond Hightower also cautioning for patience, patience being the virtue, is also going to pay off in what happens at the end of the season and what pushes them into Season 4 too. Big stuff happening for the Greens at the end of the season. We get a couple more scenes of the Winter Wolves, I think at Tumbleton, pounding their shields about ready to fight. Then it sounds like Alicent is inside the Red Keep having a scene with Rhaenyra talking to her about the crown being a weight that crushes because she's seen both of her boys so far, Aegon and then Aemond, act really weird after they started to become king or name themselves king. The entire reason why she went to Rhaenyra in Season 2 to treasonously try to help her take the Iron Throne was to end the conflict permanently. Like, she doesn't want the Dance of the Dragons continue because most of her boys, like so many different people are dying, but a lot of her boys, and she doesn't want Rhaenyra's children to die either. And another one, Jace, also just died. So we get a little bit more voiceover, like the conversation continues, where she's basically telling Rhaenyra that eventually things are going to happen and she's going to start doing things, be more hardcore, that she never thought that she would do. Terrible things. It also kind of seems like the small folks start to turn on Rhaenyra a little bit too inside King's Landing because of what happens later this season. So I think that's them playing into the whole idea of the Maegor with teats line that the small folk brand her with later this season. Basically, the Greens and the small folk trying to paint Rhaenyra as a new mad queen. We get a really quick shot of Rhaenyra with Syrax and Ulf White. This might be on the outskirts of King's Landing before they actually fly right into the city. We get a really quick shot of what looks like Rhaenyra and Daemon knighting all the Dragon Seeds after they've taken the Red Keep. They started to pull down all the green banners. That's why I think that they're kneeling here. They're about to be knighted. But also notice the other Dragon Seeds turn and look astonished at something that Ulf White says. This might be Ulf White demanding to be named a lord, not a knight, because that was his big thing in episode 1. Like, I want a castle, and you only get a castle if you're named a lord. I should be named a lord. Starting to act bolder and more treacherous as the season goes on.
Get more women with a castle.
We get a really quick shot of Rhaenyra inside the Great Sept praying. She looks very determined now at this point, and I think she's starting to believe, like she's starting to get high on her own supply, believe that she is the one who was foretold in the Prince Who Was Promised, Aegon's prophecy, to stop the Long Night. So remember, one of the big things that George R. Martin has said over all of Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire, is that prophecy is often misinterpreted and can be a trap. And it sounds like this is one of the big things that leads to Rhaenyra's downfall later on. We get a scene of what looks like the Gold Cloaks killing somebody in the streets or roughing someone up. This might just be happening around King's Landing because there are a couple other trailers where she talks about treachery being all around her. So maybe she starts to get a little more paranoid and set the Gold Cloaks loose on the people of King's Landing. Or maybe Daemon does that. This would also be one of the reasons why the small folk might start hating Rhaenyra, is because of all the violence that the Gold Cloaks are visiting on them. then I think this darker dragon on the beachhead here at night might be Silverwing. We get a really quick shot of Alicent in her cloak. This might be her heading to Harrenhal because we saw some other trailer footage of her that looked like she was at Harrenhal, and she said to Aemond that she would join him at Harrenhal. So she might be there briefly during the season. I don't know for how long. We get a really quick battle happening on the beach here. This might be when they're in the middle of taking King's Landing. Then we get a montage of a bunch of different scenes from a bunch of different episodes, with the dragons assaulting Tumbleton here at the end of the season, but we also see a bunch of Aemond and Vhagar landing at Harrenhal earlier in the season. Then we get a couple shots of King's Landing, and there's this voiceover that says, "You can break us, you can burn us, but you'll never make us embrace her." That might be Bold John Roxton saying that. It could be somebody else, and it just sounds like they're really, really against Rhaenyra. All these burning tents here are Criston Cole's men's tent, like it's Criston Cole's forces' tents burning. Thank all the Rivermen in Rhaenyra's army for all this stuff. We get a really, really trippy shot of Helaena looking up. The way that the light is on her makes it seem like she might be looking at one of the dragons. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll see some scenes of her with Dreamfire. The actress who plays her, Fia Saban, did say that she would want to do more scenes with Dreamfire, but at least up to this point, the writers hadn't actually written any scenes for her with Dreamfire, so we'll see if that changes in Season 3 at all. We get a really quick scene of what looks like Aemond, because he has the Valyrian dagger on his hip and the long hair, handing a dragon egg to somebody. Maybe it's Alice Rivers here. You can let me know who you think he's giving a dragon egg to, and why he's giving somebody a dragon egg, and why their hands are bloody. There are going to be a number of theories about what's happening here. I don't want to make this video too long, so we can save that for like future bonus videos and future episodes when this happens in the actual episodes. And they end the trailer of her and Daemon making their way in episode 2 to the throne room and the actual Iron Throne as they kill all the Green Guards on their way there. As she talks about the throne, the Iron Throne being her right, her enemies not denying it to her. Everybody post all your reactions in the comments below, and if you think you spotted any Easter eggs or references in the new trailer footage that I didn't talk about in the video, just write them below in the comments. My full episode 2 video will post next Sunday night after they release it, so be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss that. Also try to do a couple of bonus videos per week as we go along through the season, so if there's any specific bonus videos or questions you want me to answer in videos, just let me know in the comments. Everybody click here for that new episode. I'll update the link as soon as I post that, and click here for all my other House the Dragon episodes. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.